we don't need a web redesign at this point, but any feedback we can get on it.
Our websites, I want to look at everything because our website is at least 5 years old. So it's not that we need to do it, but I'd like to look at it and see what would that do to help online support if we totally redesigned it. And the guy that's doing it is great. It's a fine website. It doesn't blow my socks off, but it's a fine website. So I would be interested in seeing what we can do there. Although, like Nancy said, it's probably not primary unless it's going to really resolve some of the SEO stuff.
Yeah,
it definitely could use a refresh. We did go through a branding process. We have our colors, all that stuff, and we definitely want to retain that. But yeah, the website's getting a little long in the tooth.
There's another thing. There's another thing we need to that I think is one of the things you may be able to help with, but I'm not sure. So we also have put in a CRM for the first time called GlassHive. And it is silly cheap for us because of our partnership with another company. We're getting it for $100 a month for unlimited seats, which is silly cheap. And it's designed around managed service providers. So it has functionality in it. I've never run a CRM, neither has Randy, our business development person. So helping us understand how to create those funnels, the drip marketing, that kind of stuff would also be really helpful. So you can see we have a lot of need.
That's great. That's great. Okay. I have never used GlassHive. However, most CRMs are very similar to each other in that they've got the capability to embed forms on your website, capture the leads go into the CRM, and then they trigger an automation that's a email funnel, potentially a text message funnel. Do you know if that one has text messages as well?
I do not.
It does not.
Okay. So I will go after the call and take a look at GlassHive and the capabilities built in. Essentially, GlassHive would just be the tool. The funnel itself and the lead generation is a macro high level understanding. Then the implementation tool is really irrelevant. So it's just a matter of understanding what GlassHive's capabilities are and hooking the things together and mapping out the funnel and stuff. So we can go into all of that.
It looks like HubSpot does a whole lot more than GlassHive.
Sure.
But it would be a ton more money than $100. GlassHive integrates with HubSpot, which makes my brain hurt because it sounds like, yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it's an option to have one license of HubSpot and have GlassHive interacting with HubSpot to get the functionality of that. Just, I don't know.
Yeah, that just seems odd. I
agree.
The only reason they would integrate with HubSpot is they don't do all the things that HubSpot does. But then if you have HubSpot, then why would you need GlassHive? So that's very confusing. So I hear you. So we can explore that. But if you're good, let me share my screen and we'll just do a walkthrough of your website. And I'll just share what I see to start out based on what your goals are. So you can see my screen. Yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Or your screen. Okay. So first, when you said you were underwhelmed with the SEO, talk to me a little bit about that. So I just did a quick search for IT services in Vancouver, and you actually did rank #1. You were not in the Google 3-pack. I heard you say you want to focus on Portland as well. But so talk to me about that. What underwhelmed you? What are you not ranking for that you hoped that you would?
It's the Portland searches. Again, I feel like we do pretty good on the Vancouver side.
And then we've got the Seattle office too, which we opened that office after we let the SEO company go. So I'm going to guess we don't rank very high in Seattle.
Probably not at all.
Exactly. But I'm just saying that's another thing that would be very helpful. And I have the key to the mailbox now. It is a physical office. Portland is actually a executive suites, but Seattle, we have a physical office so we can get the mail from Google, whatever we have to do, send it in to prove that it's us.
Okay. So these addresses here are addresses where you can receive mail.
Correct.
Okay.
The Seattle office is actually a physical location.
It's a physical office.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
Good.
sitting
Normally with
empty.
an employee, but I had to let that guy go.
Yeah, it's just
So
sitting there right now.
on your Google Maps listings, I did find your Vancouver office. Do you have separate listings for the other two locations?
That was a challenge as well.
Okay,
We could
talk to me
not.
about it. Okay.
So we got the virtual office,
Mhm,
so we could have that address. That was something that they recommended we do.
mhm.
But they could not, and I could not get Google to list that as a location. And I have tried and they tried and didn't have any success. You register it and then they're supposed to send you this postcard. We never got the postcards. We checked all the making sure we were getting our mail forwarded and all this kinds of stuff. And I dug through it and tried to figure it out and I couldn't figure it out. So I need help with that.
Okay, okay, that's fine. So we can work on that.
Portland is a much larger city than Vancouver, and Vancouver is really part of the Portland metropolitan area, like Kansas City, where you've got Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, but it's all one big metro area.
Mhm. Okay, one thing that I just really quick got my attention when I found your Google listing here, you only have 4 reviews. Any
Yeah.
way that you can implement a campaign to get more reviews?
Is
You
there
can
a
help
way
us
we
with
can
it.
do that?
I can, yeah.
You know,
This,
there's one thing that I'd like to try is we have a customer satisfaction. After we close a ticket, a service ticket, the customer gets a very quick little, it's called smile back. And there's frowny face, neutral face, smiley face.
Mhm.
And they can also leave us a comment. There is a way, and Eric, I have put that out to ask Mickey to look into it, but I think he's just been too busy to get to it. But there is a way to connect those so that when we get a positive review, it'll go into our Google reviews.
Oh,
We
okay.
get tons of positive reviews from customers, great comments.
Okay.
So if we could funnel those in there, that'd be great. But if you have other suggestions on how we can get more Google reviews, that would be great too.
Based on what I'm hearing, my number one suggestion is prioritize that integration. Because if you're automatically sending that and they can click on a smiley face, which is no brainer, and it connects to Google, prioritize that. There's no more doing other things. So if search engine rankings and leads are your goal, Google reviews is critical. So if you've
Okay.
already got an automation that will expedite those reviews, make that priority 1, like today. Or if you want to send me your login, I can look at it and try to get the integration going for you. But yeah, you need more Google reviews. And then once you get your other 2 Google business pages set up for your other 2 locations, which we can work on, hopefully that application that you're using for reviews right now will allow you to assign by location, service location, and then connect to the other 2 pages. But let's work with what you've got right now and prioritize that integration. I'll just leave it out there for you guys to decide. I can help you get the integration. But if you've got a guy that's doing it already, just put that as number 1 on his list for today. And
So Mickey is my business partner, and
Okay.
he's out for 2 weeks. I can
Oh.
easily get you a login. Yeah. And I'm
Okay.
trying to let him take vacation. He doesn't normally get to take vacation. He
Yeah.
usually gets interrupted. So I'd like to leave him alone till he comes back.
Understood.
However, I'm perfectly happy to get you a login to Smileback just so you can see it and you can probably see the integration. And truly,
Eric, I think it involves some work on the back end for Mickey, like in our systems, but I'm not 100% sure.
and that's why, and maybe I'm getting the cart before the horse, but if Sandy can take a look at it, she's got apparently a great automation team based on some of the videos that I've watched.
Great.
I would imagine that the Smileback portion doesn't go through ConnectWise or any of our other systems. It would go directly to the website. So my feeling is if Sandy had access to the website and access to Smileback, she could probably just fix that quickly.
There
Yeah.
is You have to add into that survey that goes out to the customers. There's a box they need to check that says, is it okay if we put this out there on Google? There is that piece of it, and that's why I was saying it might be something that we also have to do on our back end.
I'll take a
So,
look at it
I'll
and
try
I
to
can
find-
let you know.
Yeah, Sandy, I'll try to find, I will look for. All right, now I lost you guys. Where are you?
One other
There you
thing
are.
while you're
Okay,
doing that,
I will look to find that information that I got from Smileback with how it all works, and then.
Okay. one other thing that I'll need for sure is admin access to your Google business page. So if you go in and add me as I wish they'd change the language. Add me as an owner. You can add multiple owners. Owner is really the administrative level access on your Google My Business. So just log in and then find a place where you add users. And instead of adding me as a user, add me as an owner, which is just the administrative level that I'll probably need to integrate.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to jump back to your website then. And before I talk about the leads aspect, describe a lead to me. Like what's a lead to you?
Somebody whose technology is broken.
Okay.
A lead is well, maybe not broken. Maybe things are working okay, but they need somebody else. A lead is somebody who is a viable, although I know we can't screen for that, but somebody that is interested in learning more about what it is we have to offer and has a need for it.
Which usually means their technology is not working the way they want or need it to.
Okay.
We have a contact us form. Can we help you with
So
today kind of thing?
Nancy, what you described as a lead is someone who has an interest in learning more about you and what you have to offer. That is your contact form. So that's a high commitment. They've already decided that they potentially want to work with you. That's what contact forms are really good for.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people who come to your website, presumably, that never fill out the contact form.
Correct.
So how do we capture those? So when they're coming to your website, typically, what problems are they coming to your website with? So they potentially dislike the company that they're working with right now, and they're just exploring alternatives. They maybe have something broken that they need fixed. Maybe they're trying to improve things in their IT situation. Is your ideal customer, and I think I know the answer, but IT support can go from individual to mid-sized businesses to large corporations. So what's your sweet spot? Who are you looking for?
So we really don't want to do business with people under 25 knowledge workers. So our target is 25 to 100. The next ring of the target is 15 to 200, and then 10 to 300. We just flat won't work with anybody under 10. And they must see the value in cybersecurity. We don't work with Google. We only work with Microsoft. They must be on Business Premium. There's a lot of things that a customer needs to do to keep themselves safe and to keep us safe.
Yeah. Okay,
so we become picky about customers.
Great. That's good, because that helps us target the right leads. So we can use lead mechanisms on the website to make sure, I mean, not 100% guarantee, but really filter in the right people and weed out the wrong people. Just real quick, you said, I must see value in cybersecurity, can't use Google, have to use Microsoft, and you used some language in that. What was the Microsoft deal?
Business Premium.
Okay.
It is a level of license that includes security features for the Office suite.
Okay, thank you. I'm just taking some notes on here. Now, if someone
they
comes
also
to
need
you,
to be in our geographic areas. So Portland, Vancouver metro area, Seattle metro area. We don't
Right.
have specific industries that we are targeting. We have some we don't want to work with, restaurants or stores, just some that we won't work with. But
Point of sale type. Point of sale doesn't
Yeah,
have much knowledge workers,
no,
but we do have
retail.
some industries that we're working hard to get. The construction industry, we're working hard there. Um, a lot of financial services we've had success in, and strangely, larger nonprofits. We've done really well in larger nonprofits.
Okay. So construction, financial services, large nonprofit, right?
Yeah. Can you think of anything else, Nate?
Professional,
Professional services?
professional services, CPAs, employment agency, manufacturers also we work with. It's a wide range, truthfully.
It is, but it's companies that have knowledge workers that really need their technology to function correctly for their business to run correctly.
Okay.
Which is a lot of businesses.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. So I'm just going to walk through your website now. So the reason that you are most likely ranking great for Vancouver and not as well for the others is because Vancouver is first in everything. So the way that Google looks at websites is in priority order. And so what they did, the company that you worked with did a good job for Vancouver. Everything is Vancouver first, Vancouver first, Vancouver first. So Google takes you at your word and says, okay, you're in Vancouver. You might serve a broader area, but this is your audience. These are your people. And so Google is looking at you guys there. Plus, you don't have the Google business listings in the other areas. So you're never going to get prioritized in those areas until that gets worked out, because I don't see you as being local to that area. Okay. That's the first thing. And then with the leads, there's no, this is obvious, but sometimes common sense isn't always common practice. There's no lead mechanism here. So there's no real calls to action. So you're just saying, here's what we do. IT services here and here. Just a bunch of nerds with big hearts. I like that. This is cute. And I like this, but this isn't really driving people to leads to convert. I do like the predictions, but there's just there's a lot of stuff going on, and not that the stuff is bad, the stuff is good, but there's really nothing here driving them to contact you. Okay. So they spend a lot of time exploring. I'm just presenting a scenario, and you're talking about people in the 25 to 100 knowledge workers. So they might be searching no quick appears support and payments. So that's not for me if I'm looking. And then I get distracted and then I don't come back. So that's what you want to prevent. The first thing that I would do from a lead standpoint is above the fold right here. First thing they see is I like your IT manage, but that doesn't hone in on what you described here, because you described 25 to 100 knowledge workers in certain industries who value security. So I would change that statement immediately. Very first thing, I don't mean right now, but very first thing to hone in on that. And I'm just spitballing now, but we can massage the language, work the language a little bit. But essentially, you want to say, we solve IT and security issues for businesses from 25 to 100. And I would just say employees instead of knowledge workers, because then you start confusing. And then you can say underneath something like your IT challenges. My brain is going to, you no longer have to think about your IT challenges. We take it. We got you. Yeah, like we got your back. We've got it. But just up front, we'll massage the language. Here's who we work with. And then instead of get in touch, I would say, get a quote. That's just a super simple. So that goes to what you said, Nancy. They're viable. So people who don't fit that parameter are not going to waste your time. They'll be like, okay, this isn't for me. And they will move on. And then the people who are in that group, they'll be like, this is me. These are my people. I need to get a quote. So that's how you filter out the viable and non-viable. And then from there, I would have throughout every single one of these. Not learn more is passive. If they want to learn more, they're just going to click through the tabs. You don't need to tell them to learn more. You want to tell them to get a quote. You want to tell them to get a quote here. You want to tell them to get a quote here. You want to tell them to get a quote here. You cannot have too many calls to action, because one of these things, and I haven't even looked at the things don't matter yet. One of these things is going to resonate with someone who is going to want to get a quote. So you want to have that everywhere, and you want to have it up here too, your primary call to action up here. So these people are already your customers. You can train them to look for the payments button down here. You get a quote is up here. The other people who are customers that might need support, that's fine, leave it up here, but get a quote needs to be first for attracting new customers. That's how I would prioritize. I would do that first. And then the next thing is I would create lead magnets, content around these sectors. I create content first around security for companies of that size. I would do a lead magnet dedicated to the construction industry. I would do a lead magnet dedicated to the financial services.
Can you
Large
explain lead
nonprofit.
magnet?
Yeah, I will. So lead magnet is a PDF, essentially. That's the easiest kind of lead magnet. Generally the most effective because there's low friction to get it. That solves a problem in a very specific way, and then leads them into your funnel. So the lead magnet isn't, here's what we do to help construction people. The lead magnet is, here's a problem that construction people in my sector have that I can solve right now. And you put it in the lead magnet. And you give them all the steps. You give them everything. Here's how you do it. And then, so they download it because they've got that problem. Here, you're going to tell them how to solve it. And then they're going to be like, these people clearly know what they're doing. And they work with people like me. So I'm going to call them to get help with this. Does that make sense?
So it's like a download our guide to solving construction technology problems for your construction business. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they click on it and
Yeah.
then they fill out information to get it downloaded.
Yeah. So
okay,
they fill
all right.
out.
Yeah, that's something we have
name.
talked about. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say technology problems for construction businesses. What's one problem? What's a big problem that they have? And the lead magnet solves it. And then when they download the one problem and the answers to the one problem, and you solve it for them, and then they're in a funnel after that. So they start receiving a series of emails where you can identify the other problems, like one at a time. You're going to send them an email, and the email is going to solve another problem for them. And then you're going to send them another one. It's going to solve another problem for them. And then you're going to have these calls. So you're nurturing trust, and they're industry specific.
And Sandy, one other piece of information that I think will help you with this too. After the website, I've been reading Don Miller's books. And so I created a mission statement of every business deserves technology that is predictable, efficient, and safe. And so using that throughout the website might be productive also.
Predictable, efficient,
and safe.
And safe. Yes. So that's called a controlling idea. And so you want to use that controlling idea throughout your website. Like it should be everywhere. If that's your thing, and I don't disagree, it's really good. It needs to be everywhere. So if you are a company, 25 to 100 employees, value security, we're a good fit because you deserve technology that's predictable, efficient, and safe. And
we may want to make that 200 employees or 250. We're starting to get into much bigger clients. We've got one that should sign today that they started with 150 when we started this. Now they have 180 and they expect to get to 300. And we're a really good fit for fixing their problems.
Okay. So if you had a company call you that had 500, would you take them?
Probably not.
Okay. So I was going to say, we don't need to put an upper bound on it if you would, but if you do, then yeah, we should put the upper bound on it, eliminate them.
We can always let them go after we practically interview the client and see if we're a good fit for them. We've got other people we can send them to if we're not. Maybe not having that upper bound is a good idea, because if they have 500 employees, then we can say, I don't know that we are equipped to help you with your needs.
So my question on that then, just from a relationship marketing side, do you have someone that you could refer them to? And does that someone work with smaller companies? Do you have an exchange relationship? So if someone calls them and it's not a good fit because they're too small, they only have 75, which would be a great fit for you, and vice versa. And if you don't, I'd go find that person, whoever that is in your area.
So we have that person for smaller companies in Vancouver. I'm working on it for Portland. I'm taking the tact of, we'll do this for you. And I'm not taking the tact of, I want you to do this for me. I want them to figure that part out on their own. So these customers are absolutely not a fit for us, the smaller customers, and we need to let them go. And I need to have somebody competent to say, here's a possible MSP. There's others out in the world, but here's one we've worked with. Maybe over the time they'll give us referrals, but I don't want to ask for it, because it sounds like I'm asking them for something and I'm going to give them something in return. I want to give them the customers that we don't want, give the customers a way to move away from us without injuring the relationship. So that's where I'm at with it at this moment.
Are you open if I present an alternative to that?
Very open about everything.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so
we're open to whatever you suggest.
We're not going to be those horrible customers where you say, I think you should do this. And we go, we're not doing that.
We might, but we want to hear
not
what you have
regularly.
to say. If it's not a good fit,
Yeah.
then it's not a good fit. But yeah, we
well,
definitely want your
the
advice.
words you used when you were describing that was interesting, because you said, I want them to figure it out on their own, but they don't. People just think about themselves generally. They're never going to figure it out. There's nothing wrong with forming strategic relationships, and that's how you approach it. It's just a strategic relationship. There's no, and it's as good for them as good for you, and you guys will figure out pretty quickly if it works for both of you, by how the customers you send are treated and give feedback. Because if it's not a good experience, they'll tell you right away. There's nothing wrong with approaching other companies and saying, hey, are you currently working with another provider that does larger service at scale than you do? Because we have clients that we can send your way. Not clients, but we have prospects we can send your way that aren't a good fit. They're too small. And presumably, if you're working with this size, you don't work with this size. And we both succeed. And I do it all the time. Sometimes people are like, no, I'm good. And sometimes people are like, yeah, that sounds amazing. And both answers are okay. And you just work with the people that say, that sounds amazing, let's do it. Then the advantage of that is, number one, you already know this. People come to you, you're not a good fit, and you don't just leave them. You're like, we're not a good fit, but this guy is a great fit. And now they like you.
Yeah.
They want to do the same thing. Maybe if it's somebody, I'm assuming people who work with less than 25, they're smaller than you. Some of them are probably newer in the space. And having a strategic partner would benefit them. And you just have to educate them on why it would benefit them the other way, vice versa. I wouldn't not ask. Because if you don't ask, it's never going to come.
Right.
You know? So anyway, just something to think about. Not a big deal.
Okay.
So going through the homepage without even looking at the content, you get the idea of the calls to action. And I would actually have down here, your testimonials in your business are going to be really important. I would change this so you can see at least 3 right here. Because people aren't going to scroll. And if these
We need to pull that one. Can you go back to that one?
This one?
Oh, no, the one that said John Vandergen. That one.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
John Vandergen's he was the president of Employers Overload. Now he's our VP of operations. I don't know, for the last 5 years, 6 years.
Oh, okay.
We need to pull that one off there.
So this just does people will see one. They're not going to stick around. They're going to be scrolling. So they'll see one. They're not going to scroll through all these. So take 3 or 4 of them and
Mhm.
make them across the page. So you can even do, is this a WordPress site or?
It's WordPress, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So just use a different like testimonial carousel or something where it's going to show multiple. The people who want to look at more are still going to scroll through more.
And that
Okay, so
that looks like it came out of Smileback, but it doesn't look like it was automated because of the age
Mm,
of the
No,
one for John.
I pull those out and
Oh,
put them
okay.
under WordPress, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Because people they have to check a box that says when they leave a comment, yes, you can use this for marketing purposes.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
All right. I like the visual of what you've got here. You said you're reading Donald Miller's books, that you want to have steps on how to get people, what it's like to work with you. 3 steps. And they need to be high enough. I even put them above these here. Request a quote, request a quote. And then whatever comes next, we get on and do an analysis of your current IT situation. And step 3 is you now have tech that's predictable, efficient, and safe.
And so with the changes that you're talking about here, I'm wondering if it's like an old computer. We can keep putting RAM and hard drive space and that kind of into it, but it's still old and it's always going to be slow. Or do we fix this, or do we redesign? And it's a thought process. It's not,
that's a
Nancy, we need
huge
to do this.
undertaking.
What's that?
Yeah,
That's a
so
huge undertaking to do a complete redesign.
I'm not recommending a redesign.
Okay.
I'm really not. What you're doing here with if you implement the things that I'm telling you, you are redesigning it. You're redesigning it for generating more leads. But people don't care. They just want their problem solved. Here's what you do. Here's how I get a quote. Here, I'm either a fit for you or I'm not, by size. It's very clear. And I can get a quote. Okay, I don't know if I want to work with you yet or not. I'm going to explore a little bit. Here you've got get a quote. Here's what comes next, so I know what to expect. And then here's the outcome: predictable, efficient, and safe tech. You've given them so many ways to get a quote and identify or leave because they're not a good fit. And that's okay if they leave if they're not a good fit. And then you're going to have people who want to do research. Then here, you're going to say something like, instead of us, you're going to say, do you have security problems on your systems? I don't speak the language of what you guys do very well, but yeah, security issues, outages. Are your systems slow, leading to, inefficient use of employee time? So you're gonna have 5, 6 bullets of, are you experiencing these things? We fix that.
Right.
Stop experience those things. Get a quote. And then down here, so here you're talking about problems. You have these, but you're here. If you're here, you probably are experiencing dot, or dot. We fix those and we're really good at it. Get a quote. And then down here, this is not a redesign. This is just changing verbiage.
Yeah.
And then here, it's like we specialize in. So now it's a little bit about you. Yep. And then the stuff.
So the section that
25
you're
to-
on now, that links out to our blog posts.
Yeah.
So are you saying not to have any links out to blogs up front? I noticed in yours, which I really like, you've got like these different solve this problem kind of thing, and it links out to whether it's a blog post or a video of you speaking.
Yeah.
That's what this section is designed to be, to get them out there. Plus, that was something that in our last SEO that we talked about, was getting the content out there to help with the SEOs. People searching, they have an issue, but if we've got it covered in our blog post, then it sends them our way and presents us as subject matter experts.
Yes, that's all true.
So,
That's all true. I just wouldn't have it here.
okay.
Because when people are scrolling, and you're talking about leads, your main goal is leads. You want to drive expertise from an SEO standpoint for sure, but your main goal is to drive leads right now. So I'm going from top to bottom. This will change the way leads come in through your website. They identify the problems they have here. They quickly identify that you solve all those problems, and you work with companies 25 to 250 who value security. So they say, yeah, they solve the problem. They have a focus on security. They only use Microsoft, and they only use Microsoft that is business premium. And that is me. I really need to talk to these people, get a quote. So you mentioned my website. So let me just show you. So my controlling idea, Donald Miller style, is leads. So if you are interested in getting leads, I'm the person you want to talk to, and I position myself that way. Your website should get you leads, lots of them. How is your website doing? And then I show you, this is actually my screen on my phone, screen capture. This is an area that I am currently testing. I used to have a quiz here. We had no conversions through the quiz. One of my big things I want people to do is set up strategy calls like this, because once we're on a strategy call and I actually have a chance to talk to you and walk through your website with you, I usually close the deal. And then again, controlling idea. How do you get more leads from your website? If you're missing any of these, that's a problem. So I'm educating. Do you have clear messaging, awareness, retargeting, lead nurturing? Most people don't have one of these. So again, it's, yeah, I don't. I better talk to her, get a quote. So you see the request a quote. So I'm driving them with that controlling idea. So if you see yourself in anything that I'm saying here, then you're a good fit for me, because I can solve that problem. Then I position the expertise with the blogs. So if you haven't made the decision yet, I'm like, because there will be people who are fast actors, and then there will be people who are like, yeah, I need to find out more about this person and what she knows. And so then you've got all of the expertise. If you're not working with me, you're working with someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So that's the idea behind how I've laid out my website. And that's basically what I'm saying on yours, because you want leads. And so what you have to do, and you want viable leads. So you want to position it so they self-identify. I fit in the 25 to 250. I do value security immensely. It's very important. And I would even make that kind of heavy in here too. If your systems aren't secure, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when this is going to happen to you and the cost to your business. Here's how we fix it.
So my concern with that, and that's maybe discussions that Eric and I have up on the side, is cybersecurity is one piece of our product lineup. We do lots of things. Although Eric said that's a qualifier for us on whether we accept a customer, I don't know if that's a qualifier for us as we talk to somebody, because a lot of times what happens is we talk to somebody, they may not already see the value of cybersecurity, but we tell them here's what can happen and blah, 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 blah. And oh yeah, now I see the value of it. So I don't want to turn anybody off. I don't need that. I'm a small business, because a lot of small businesses think that up front, and that's where we come in to educate them on that. And that's where we do a lot of our blog posts around. But there's other things that we help people with, that it's not just cybersecurity. I just really don't want to pigeonhole us that way.
And primarily along the Don Miller thing again, I will meet somebody and I'll say, they say, what do you do? And I'll say, have you ever had a printer that didn't work or something along this line? And how extremely frustrating it is. We take that frustration away, that kind of thing. So truly, we are the IT department for small businesses. People who can't afford to have their own IT staff. That's what we are.
So let's go with that controlling idea that you shared, your mission. And at the top, it's, do you want tech that's predictable, efficient, and safe?
Yeah.
And if you're a business with 25 to 300 employees and you want tech that's predictable, efficient, and safe, that's what we do. It's
Mhm.
pretty clear. So they can
Yeah.
self-eliminate
Yeah.
based on that instead of saying the word cybersecurity. Now, interestingly, I didn't say cybersecurity. I just said security. My brain didn't go to cybersecurity. When you
Mm.
said security, my brain went to employee security and system security, which I
Mm.
know cyber is a component, but there's also employees that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insider
Yeah.
threat.
We don't do that.
Well, we do the insider threat.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
monitor things to keep people from doing the naughty things that you don't expect an
Mhm.
employee to do.
But we're not doing alarm systems.
We don't do alarm systems or access controls or cameras. Yeah.
None of that
No,
stuff.
yeah. Those are the changes that I would make on the homepage. And then your blog stuff is great, right? And keep doing it. But put it down here. Put it
Mm.
your blog is for SEO
Mhm.
and for the people who want to research more. And
Yeah.
that's a good portion of the population. But there's also people who want to take fast action and don't want to weed through all the stuff. You set it up with your priority, which is leads. And then down here, you have your blog and education stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes
So,
sense. Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let's just go to your, do you guys look at your Google Analytics very often?
No, I just switched us over to the new analytics. I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
think that, yeah, see, I can see stuff right now. I'm like, oh, that needs to be updated. That needs changed.
so I would do the same thing on all these other pages. People are going to be doing research here, and this is all good. The only people who are going to come look at this stuff are people who are looking for this stuff. They want to see that you do all of this, but you still don't have call to action. I would add calls to action on all of this, and I would change some of the headlines. What you
Mhm.
get, that's fine. What you get with online people who are looking for that are looking for that. I don't know. You don't need this here. That's distracting. I know they did it for SEO, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, your IT services, you want marketing languages here, not SEO language. So I would go through all these pages
Uh-huh.
and add calls to action, not contact us, get a quote. Or, oh, look at this, a free service carrier assessment. I would say, instead of get a quote, I'd put a button here, say,
Uh-huh.
get a free assessment or get a free service carrier assessment.
Okay.
I don't know if you could hear when you stepped away, but I asked if you look at your Google Analytics very
Yeah.
often.
And I
I
don't, but
said
that's
no.
Nancy.
Yeah, but I really, I don't. I just don't. I don't know. I just haven't found.
Here, if we're just make those changes on your homepage to start,
Uh-huh.
get the reviews integrated, and then we'll prioritize working on the lead magnets and the nurturing funnels. And then your Google Analytics, before I go into these other pages and make recommendations, like beyond adding more calls to action, I want to look at your analytics, because what analytics does, and it uncovers for you. I want you to go watch this video when you have a moment. It's right here. Live marketing meetup, how to use Google Analytics for decisions, to drive website decisions. Watch that video, and that's going to essentially explain to you by looking at data on my website. I used my own analytics to teach that one. When you can see what people are going to on your website, so you're going to have one page beside your homepage that's clearly visited more often than any other page. You want to work that page next. And then the next one, you want to work that page next. So you could spend all kinds of time guessing on what to change on your website, but your analytics is going to tell you exactly what to change and improve on your website to drive more leads. So do your homepage first, and then go to the second most visited page. And then let's go look at that page in depth and see what we can do on that page to drive more leads through different calls to actions. Then I want to show you a couple other things that has nothing to do with your website.
Can you send us that link also to the video?
Yes. Let's see here. I'm just going to send it in the chat real quick. And okay. So I'm going to show you this other product that I think would be really great for you. And I'll follow up with an email and send you, like, if you want us to help you with any of this, the pricing on it. But this It's something I use in my own business, and it would be really good for yours because of who your audience is. I call this folder, I call it good news. You'll see why. Okay. So these are companies that have been on my website that didn't fill out the contact form. So they came to my website somehow through whatever marketing I'm doing, word of mouth, social media, whatever. And let's see, Wilson Print Marketing. Let's see what they did. So interesting. So they're probably trying to sell me something. But I get the contact information, the phone number, the email, and
How
I
do you
can see
get
what they
that?
looked at.
Oh, from them
Well,
filling out a form?
No, they didn't fill anything out. They didn't fill anything out at all. So what happens is when you're working throughout the day as a business, you are logged in to various things, LinkedIn, so other social media platforms. So whatever you happen to be logged into, this is a data aggregator essentially. And so it's pulling this information. I can see they went to the homepage. They also went to the About Us page. They spent some time there. And they quickly went to our Smart Visitor ID page, which is what this tech is, and gave me all this information about them. So I cannot add them to my group list, my marketing list, but what I can do is reach out one-to-one, or I can pick up the phone and call them. Let me see. I'll just use Angel Dent. These were all yesterday. Angel Dent.
So how does this information come to you? Through
by
what?
email? This is in my email.
No,
So
how is all this detail about this company coming to you? If they're not filling out a
Because
form,
it's-
how are you getting that information?
because it's all available through applications that they're signed into. It's publicly available information. It's
Cookies on their
aggregated.
machine for the login
But
But then
available
what are
to.
you, but then what are you using that? There must be a application, something, I don't know, that's on your website that gets all that information and puts it in an
No.
email and sends it to you.
No, yeah. So they did not fill out a form. There's a piece of code I have on the website for
Uh-huh.
Smart Visitor ID technology. And
Mm.
then when they're on the website, it gathers the data that's available about them and it sends me an email.
Oh, okay.
So then I
Okay,
can reach out
interesting.
to them. So this
Oh.
is great for B2B. And like I
Mhm.
said, you can go connect with them. So here's what I do with this information. I go connect with all these people on LinkedIn. I put them in my Instantly, which is my automated cold email outreach. It's warmish because they've been on my website, they know, but I can't put them in a list and email them in bulk. So I
Mhm.
do it through Instantly where it's one-on-one emails.
Mhm.
And then I set up funnels to try to drive them into my opt-in list. So I'll show you the whole process.
Oh.
This is another tech that I want to talk to you about integrating on your site. So I'll show you. So this is the remarketing that we do. And that code's going to one of my team members. She's gonna have to text it to me.
I have a way that you can share that code with everybody too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that would be very good. My team would love that because they always, the ones that come to me versus the one that goes to Karen, there's always a delay and it drives us all crazy.
Yeah. That shared login thing with MFA is difficult, but we have a team that has to do it. So Mickey's got that figured out.
I understand the value of it, but it still drives me crazy. Okay.
But getting broken into will drive you more crazy.
Yeah.
He's got a cybersecurity hat on.
Okay, so this is something that I run in the background also of our website. So these are people who've been to the website and maybe didn't convert. So you can see this is just this year. So January 13th through June 25th, I've spent $1,500 or so on this. And I'm going to show you the campaigns. So these are ads that follow people around the internet. If you've been to our website, as you go and do things, look at news, look at weather, you're going to start seeing these ads. The idea is to drive people back. And so you can see this is just, I've had 249 clicks back to the website during this period. This period is on this one. Let me find it. Okay, January through these ads. So 235 have come back as a result of these, which is great. What I've done with these ads is I've taken my initial ad spend, ad investment, marketing investment, driven them to my website. I have also collected information if they didn't fill out a form. And I'm also now following them around the internet. And 249 of them have clicked through one of these ads and come back to our website.
So you got that information initially through them clicking on an ad? Is that what triggers their information?
No, these are two different things.
Okay.
My marketing drives them to the website. They maybe don't fill out a lead form, right? Maybe they don't download a lead magnet. They don't contact me. So I've got code on the website that captures their information anyway and sends it to me. And then these ads start following them around the internet.
Oh, okay, I see.
To remind them, hey,
When
you were
they're-
interested in us. You didn't take action.
Okay.
Come back. Are you still interested? Do you still need this?
Okay.
So I had
Got it.
249 of those come back. And then the other tech I use, the whole system. On this, then, these are cold emails, not cold, but cold-ish. So we go Alan here. Those are true cold. I'll just show you this. Let's see Alan's here. So this is in the last 4 weeks. He started 323 sequences. These are people who've been to our website. Smart Visitor ID captured them. We put them into Instantly so we could send one-on-one emails. So it's had an open rate of 21%, which is pretty good for a warmish, coldish outreach. And then 5% or 16 of them out of the 323 came back. And this is what the sequence looks like. Let me find it. Oh, there it is. So this is what we do. It's a one-on-one email. So this person, let's just say Michael, he gets added to Instantly and it says, hey, Michael, we noticed you dropped by our website recently. And then I give them right out of the gate a 67-point SEO checklist. So I just offer value. I'm not trying to sell them anything. Just give them that. You might be interested in this. If you're talking to or looking at a web design company, you might be interested in this. And then step 2. So this is a few days later, they get another email and I send them another free resource. Hope you found the checklist useful. Here's another one. How to get your business in the coveted Google 3-pack. I hit them right out of the gate with stuff that I know people who are interested in talking to companies like mine typically need. And I just give it to them. Same thing here. There was I need to update that. So they had a massive core update. So I educate them on that. And then content strategy to get your website to rank better. And then ADA compliance. My friend's small business was sued for $80,000, which is a true story. Then I give them resources, invite them to my YouTube channel, invite them to my marketing meetups. So I'm pulling them into my funnel by giving them value and content that would be helpful and useful to them and telling them it's free, should just show up, just register. And that's it. That's the sequence. So after all of those things, my whole goal with it is to get them into my opt-in. Because once they're in my opt-in, then I can forever market to them. So that's how that all works. So that's the system. That's the system. When I talk system, that's the system that I use.
And the last part probably could be GlassHive, because it's got that kind of flow inside of it. We can use something else also.
Yeah. And you guys are in a similar business to me in that we're B2B. And so that whole system would work the same in your case. It doesn't work the same in everybody's case. But for you guys, that system would work.
So we're past time. And I have more questions.
That's okay. I've got another, let me just check my calendar really quick. I think it's at 11. Yeah, it's at 11. So I have
So
time. You're good.
what does it cost to use your services? What do we do to engage with you?
So let me send an email because all of those pieces are individual. The
Different.
setup fees for each of those softwares are in the $300 to $400 range. And then the monthly is your budget plus $50 for the management of it. You dictate your budget. So for me, I spent $1,500 since January. I usually recommend starting with 75 to 100 a month on that. And then we look at what's going on and we adjust. And
No.
one thing I didn't mention here is this is how you promote your lead magnets too, by the way. So these ads, we build ads around your lead magnets. So if they came to the website and they didn't download something, then you show the lead magnet, and the people who like the construction, the professional services, whatever, this also drives them back to your site, where ideally there's a landing page that just has that lead magnet on it that this goes back to. And then those are very high converting when you do that.
But I guess what I'm saying is, how does online support compensate your company for the value that we're getting?
Yeah. No, so I'll send an email. So
Okay.
I'll just break it all out. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not like I probably should just put this package together. I don't have a package, but the individual things that we do. So writing the lead magnets and the nurturing funnels, integrating them on your website, and then all of these third-party services, we just integrate and we charge a setup fee for that. So I'll just lay that all out in an email following this call.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Nancy,
Sandy,
any
you have
questions?
given us so much information. My head is spinning, but I think you've got some great suggestions for
Yeah.
us. So
That's my goal
yeah.
with these calls, is just educate on the logic behind it all so that you
Yeah.
understand. Because when you understand it,
Yeah.
it just makes sense. Yeah, I'm really glad we jumped on this call, and I'm glad it
Yeah,
makes sense,
thank
and I'm
you.
glad it's helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great information. Thank you. All right, I look forward to getting your email and
Okay.
see what we can do.
So other action item though is get me login access on your Google business page and login access to your reviews.
Already did that. You should have an
Oh,
email.
Back.
Perfect. Okay. All right. And I'll look at how that needs to be integrated, and I'll get back with you on that one. Make that happen because you need to get those Google reviews up. And then I'll have more suggestions from the SEO side once I can see the back end and what people are doing once they get to your website.
And I love the idea that you're prioritizing it. And I assume not just on the pages, but these are the things we need to do in the priority instead of here's a shotgun approach.
I know.
Yeah.
You
I feel like I'm
need to
drinking from water
prioritize it.
hose or fire hose. I'm like, how are we gonna get all this stuff done? Okay.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. So people, and especially when you've got the type of company that you're working with, you can drive all the traffic that you want from SEO or paid ads or whatever it is you're doing to drive traffic to your website. But ultimately, if you only have 4 Google reviews, that's a problem, because people look at those and they judge. Right or wrong, they judge. You only have 4 reviews. It looks like you're brand new. Like, why do you only have 4 reviews? You have thousands of reviews, but they're not in Google. And so that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's fix that.
Okay. All right.
All right. Any other questions?
At this point, I'm sure
Not
we'll
till
be
we get off the
lots
call.
coming your way though. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll follow up with an email and get you some pricing on all the things we talked about, and then we'll just go from there.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sandy.
Have a great day, you guys.
You
You too.
too.